Hey, folks, good morning to you wherever you're listening from. This is a Nigerian business review with me, Kalu Aja. Today is the 9th day of September 2022. So let's get right to it, right? So I got three stories and they're all connected. These three stories. And we're going to do the first one. This is from The Cable. The title is Nigerian Bureau of Statistics. So it says Nigeria recorded 3.2 trillion trade surplus in 6 months. So the story is essentially saying that the NBS is reporting that Nigeria's trade surplus for quarter two, which is January all the way to June, was a huge 3.2 trillion surplus. So the trade report basically takes your imports and your exports, and if you export more, that's very, very good. So you have a surplus. If you import more, that's not so good, and you have a negative, right? So in Nigeria's case, our total exports was about 14.5 trillion, but imports were about 11 trillion. So we had a surplus of about 3.2 trillion. Good results right there. So let's do the breakdown even further. So where are we exporting to, guys? And this is where it starts to get interesting. We're exporting to India, to Spain, to the Netherlands, to Indonesia, and to the US in that order. So our biggest export market is India and Spain. What are we exporting to India and Spain and the Netherlands? Crude oil, right? So the bulk of our exports is still crude oil. India, Spain, and Netherlands, right? So where are our imports coming from? Our imports are about China, the Netherlands again, Belgium, India, and the US. So guys, notice we see Netherlands in the export column, and we also see Netherlands in the import column. So what's going on there? Well, we're exporting crude oil to the Netherlands, and we're importing PMS from the Netherlands, right? And I'm pretty sure that's what we're doing with Belgium. I haven't looked, but I'm pretty sure this is what we're doing with Belgium. So you can see this is the story, guys. Positive reports on the trade surplus. So we are selling more than we're buying, which means it should be very, very good. Normally, when a country exports more, the currency of that country will go up in value. So what it means is that Nigeria's Naira should be doing better than the 700 we see, right? Because we're exporting more, so we're earning dollars. That's what it means. But when you look deeper at the figures, you then see where the problem starts to break down. That when we earn those dollars, we are using the same dollars to then import PMS. And the case in point is Netherlands. Netherlands is our number 2 import market. About 105 trillion imports come from Netherlands. What are we explaining to them? Way less than that, right? So once we get the money in, it goes out again. This is the problem with the economy, that normally these exports should show up on the Naira, but it's not. So let's go further, right, into our report. Like I said, we had 3 stories, and all 3 stories sort of linked together. Let's go to the first one. This is from Bloomberg, right? And Bloomberg is reporting, right, that Nigeria's oil output is down. Angola is now doing better than Nigeria in terms of import. So Angola is now Africa's top oil exporter. This as at August. This is the first time since 2017 that Angola has overtaken Nigeria. So let me say it again. First time since 2017 that Angola has overtaken Nigeria. So I mean, Bloomberg and everyone, of course, knows this is saying that our output is down because of crude oil theft and vandalism. So remember, the trade report says that our exports are doing more than our imports, which is a good story. But even the export that we are doing so well, you can see from this report from the Bloomberg that we could have done even double that. But we're doing way below. Like I always give you guys the data. As of 2020, quarter 1, 2020, Nigeria was doing more than 2 million barrels per day. Quarter 1, 2020, right? Right now, we're about 1.4. So you can see clearly about 700,000 or so missing. It's either it's stolen or it's shut in, i.e. it's not pumped, so it doesn't get stolen, but we're losing the revenues of about 700,000. So even though Nigeria's trade surplus is positive, we are making that trade surplus with less exports. So you can see that Angola is now top in Nigeria in terms of exports. This is where you see the reality of the crude oil theft or shut-ins that we are seeing in Nigeria. So this story, the trade story, and this shortening of exports now take us to the third story, which then sort of complete the troika of what we're going to talk about. And in this last story, we then see the Nigerian finance minister, again from Bloomberg, Finance Minister Zainab Ahmed saying that Nigeria is not going to go for an IMF loan, but that it is likely that the naira will weaken further. So what that means is that Nigeria is going to have to devalue the naira. So you see where we started from. We started from trade surplus. And when you have a trade surplus, your currency should be very, very strong. But when we break down that 3 trillion, that surplus that we saw, and it was a great story, right? When we start to break down that trade surplus, we then see that, it's not really as perfect or as rosy as it is. We see 3 trillion trade surplus. We then see that we're exporting to countries like Netherlands, crude oil, but we're buying from the same Netherlands, PMS. So we're getting the sales, then we're immediately writing a check back to the supplier. It's like a storekeeper that sells rice. They bring in rice to your store, you sell that rice for 14 trillion, right? But you only pay the guy 11 trillion. So you make profit of 3 trillion. But in that profit you are making, you are using the dollars that you earn from the crude oil sales to pay the importer, i.e. the guy supplying you rice. Remember that we sell the crude oil in dollars, and we are also paying in dollars, which then shows you when we then go back to what the finance minister is saying, that there will be a devaluation of the currency. She's completely correct, because there are only two things Nigeria can do. Nigeria can either defend the value of the naira, which means that Nigeria can say, we're going to defend the value of naira, which is about 435. That's the official rate. Nigeria could say, we're going to keep it at 435. That would mean that the central bank will, if you want to exchange your naira for dollars, they'll sell to you at 435. Why is that not a good idea? Because you can go right next door and sell it for 700 naira. There's a difference. There are two markets in Nigeria. There's the real market, the black market, and then there's the government market, which is the CBN rate. If the central bank wants to defend, that means it is saying that every naira in circulation can be exchanged for dollars at 435. That would be madness, because what would happen is that everyone will simply go exchange dollars, naira for dollars, and then go sell at 700 and make about 300 naira arbitrage. So the CBN can't do that. It doesn't make any sense. What CBN will try to do is to devalue, to close the gap between what you have in the black market and what you have in the official market, so that they remove the incentive for people to just go get naira, exchange to dollar, and then sell. So you're going to see that 435 will go up a bit. Maybe they'll take to 450, maybe 500, maybe more. But they have got to devalue, because what they are doing is not feasible anymore. Nigeria is doing well with exports. We are doing well with exports. You can see we have a 3 trillion positive trade balance. That itself should make the naira jump up. But the naira is not jumping because we are importing. And we're not importing in naira, we're importing in dollars. So it's like we give with one hand and we take with the other hand. And that's what the market is saying. That the market said, this 3 trillion you're making, remember that NNPC, which is the one selling the crude oil that shows up in this trade report, is not making any remittances to FARC. So we record the sale in pen and paper, but the physical cash doesn't come in, because NNPC takes that money and pays for PMS. So we just record it on our books. Yeah, we made 2 trillion, but raw dollars doesn't come into the fact because from the sale, it goes right out and NNPC pays for subsidy. 4 trillion approved in 2022. I'm hearing 6.7 trillion for 2023. The only positive thing I'm hearing is that the oil price is right now about 88.90. If oil price goes down, then subsidy also goes down. But the problem is this: when the oil price goes down, then that trade you see, that 14 trillion will also go down because the bulk of that trade is crude oil. So you see, heads Nigeria loses, tails Nigeria loses. We don't have any out of this because our refineries aren't working. If the Dangote refinery starts to work, things might change, which would mean that we might not import from Netherlands anymore. We might import from Dangote, but we really can't talk more about Dangote because we don't know, are we going to pay him naira? Are we going to pay him dollars? Is he going to buy our crude oil in naira? Is he going to buy our crude oil in dollars? We don't know. So because we don't know, we really can't talk about it. But 3 stories today that are all interrelated that show you how trade interrelates, right? The first story on trade from the cable, positive, 3.9 trillion surplus trade, hands up, thumbs up to Nigeria. Then you see the story in the Bloomberg that says Angola is beating Nigeria in exports of crude oil. That shows that Nigeria can even do more than the 3 trillion, but we're constrained by the theft and the vandalism in Niger Delta, and we've done nothing about it, right? Then you then see this bigger story in the same Bloomberg saying Nigeria even consider the IMF, but it's not taking it, and it's going to have to devalue. It's either you devalue or you defend. So if they defend, if they say they're going to keep the naira at 435, which I said will not make sense, they have to devalue. There's just no way they can defend because we only have about 38, 39 billion in our foreign reserves. If we give all that to people, it will go in like 6 months. So we've got to devalue and do a bit of defend as well and pray for remittances and more sales. Maybe Dangote will sell more fertilizers and then we'll make more dollars in. The problem is imports. But let me put it this way. Imports are high, but we can do more with exports. We see our exports, even though it's 3.9 trillion positive, it is still down because Angola is doing better than us since 2017. This is the first time Angola has caught up with us since 2017. So great reporting there from the guys at Bloomberg highlighting the issues in Nigeria and all that. Not a lot of other stuff we can talk about, just a few other stories just to tell you guys what's happening. Central Bank of Nigeria is asking the guys that gave loans to do rice, the anchor borrower scheme, suggesting, hey guys, you haven't paid off. We're giving you a final demand notice, big words, from the central bank to the rice anchor borrowers program to pay off. If they don't pay, what will CBN do? Nothing. People think that that loan was a gift or government money. I doubt they're going to get that loan back. Pengerson says they're going to go on a strike. So they're threatening a 30-day shutdown. This is Pengerson, the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association. So if they go on strike, then the economy will just belly up. So they've been threatening this for a while. I've been seeing this story, but they're still not going to go on a 30-day strike. You know, Nigeria, nothing happens. They actually go on a strike. They almost say, hey, they're going on strike. So calling them off now and let's see what they want. And maybe, I don't know, let's see what they want. Obaseki asked for new investment in oil palm to boost Nigeria's foreign exchange earnings. Yeah, we have to simply do more exports. We have to get foreign currency into Nigeria because right now the economy is tottering, right? We don't have dollars and we're a dollar-dependent nation. The remittances have to come in. Trade export has to come in, and then we have to stop our spending of the scarce forex on PMS imports, and also stop paying people like the folks in Jakarta that are paying. We're giving about 496 million. I don't know where we're going to get that 496 million from, but that's our show today, guys. Let me see if we have any speaker that wants to say a word. Prince, I have you up there. What's up, man? Very quick.
All right.
Wait, what's up, man?
All right. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, meaning Nigerians. Regarding to what we are saying about our FS, thinking about it and seeing the realities on ground, with our oil, which is our major revenue when it comes to FS. Mostly 80% of our inflow for our FS comes from the oil. So even looking at our with our quota from the OPEC 1.8, and we've not been doing that. Now, what we've been exporting below, even last month we exported about 900 barrels. It's not even up to 1 million again. You can see not just the export, even the looting in the oil sector, the theft alone,
it's a lot.
as even exacerbating as day goes by. So even with this trend, I even assure that up to by next year, I'm not sure you won't be exporting up to 500 barrels again.
Well, what are we doing about it? I mean, is it not amazing that the oil revenues are going down? We are borrowing. What are we doing about it? This is happening in Nigeria. We know where the pipelines are. We can't guard those pipelines. I mean, we are losing 700,000 barrels a day. I can't shout, man, but what is Nigeria doing? It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, thanks, Prince. Hey guys. Thanks for joining. We tried this in 15 minutes. We're right about there. So it's going to shut down. And I think the key word is just this: we have to get dollars in. If Nigeria does not get dollars in, then you're going to have inflation exacerbate, and then it starts to really, really bite. It's biting now, but then it will bite really, really hard as we move into the winter and all that kind of stuff, right? So we've got to get our act together. All right, guys, thank you so much. I'll see you guys tomorrow on another edition of Business Papers with me, Kalu Aja. You guys have a good day, right? Bye.
All right.